All right, first.
Okay, I have two questions actually.
I wish I did. Check to see the page.
When you explained each category, it was very, very helpful. Is your explanation up on the Alliance website? So.
Yes. I had a bigger explanation, and my editors said that's too convoluted, that's too complex, make it more simple. So I made it a little more simple.
But it's there somewhere? I didn't see it.
It is, yeah. Well, it's on the top. It says, the categories from A to H are done as concentric rings, going from most, concentrated to less. But also, it's not like diluted. But in the end, with some of these studies in theory of globalization, you get really great frameworks to understand, historically speaking, since 1600, what is happening, this trade system, this capitalist system, this banking system, and how it developed, and how to, understand it, or at least go along with the academics that are trying to understand it.
My second question was, you said you had thought about a category of historical prior to Chicago. I think, just my sentiment, I think that's very critical. I don't want to give you work.
No, I might just
get to work. Get to work.
I might just give it back to you. Well, I know that Steve has a bibliography, and there are a lot of historical works on your database.
I have one. I haven't included a lot of 1930s or that early material in mine. Mine is mostly around AMI and the conferences here, and who's presented over the years. And a lot more to be done, and yeah, Jamie and I are planning to meet in November to work on this a bit too. So,
yeah, contact me again. I can give help.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Thank you for this bibliography. This is just amazing. It's all of that. I mean, this is really something that people all over the world can use. It's fantastic. And I know you maybe. Anyway, I don't know if everybody knows you that well. And there was a story that happened that you told me about. You were at the restaurant where you work, and they drove up in a limousine one time. Could you relate that story to us? I think it's appropriate now.
Okay, off the record. So I work at a kind of a high-end restaurant in Naperville in the suburbs here, and 2 years ago, August 30 in the evening, I'm at the host stand. And it's 5 to 9, 9 o'clock close, and it's 5 to 9. And the hostess is not there, she's in the back, and this limousine with tinted windows drives up. And there's this very fast and good-looking woman, young, kind of coming in very energetically and saying, party of 3, are you still open? We are hungry, we want some food, we'll make it fast. And I'm like, technically it's 5 to 9, we're still officially open, so why not? And then she also said, by the way, we got a VIP in the party. And I'm like, I've dealt with some VIPs before, so I'm like, sure. And the hostess just comes up, hears the conversation, whether we can still serve these people. She says, well, maybe the kitchen is already closed. Sometimes the kitchen closes, in certain restaurants, if there's nobody there. Why keep it open till the official, closing time? So she says, okay, let me go and talk with the chef, if it's still, operational. Well, she is gone. I'm doing a little chit-chat with this lady, and then the VIP comes through the door, and I recognize him. And he looks a little haggard, older guy, kind of intense in his face. He's a senator of the US Congress. And I recognize him, and I'm politically on the same line with him. It's Bernie Sanders. But he comes in like, electrified. And my body language and my facial expression is totally like, welcome. But what do I have to say? Because of the irony of the situation, I say, welcome to our capitalist establishment. Because later we learned he's on a book tour, promoting a book about revolution. And then he comes to a 1% restaurant in a limousine. The driver is not even coming in. The driver stays in the limousine. Anyway, so I said that, welcome to our capitalist establishment. I thought you would get, kind of the irony of the joke. So what is he doing? He walks around, he walks out. Back into the limousine. And I'm like, this is not going to happen on my watch. So I go after him. I'm standing next to the limousine. I find out behind which window he is sitting, and he's, looking kind of straight ahead. I'm indicating, lower the window. Window goes lower. He doesn't look at me. I'm just telling him, like, Senator Sanders, I'm so sorry. I'm with you. I'm from Amsterdam. I'm a social democrat. I'm totally with you there. Please come in. We're going to feed you. My apologies again. Blah blah. And he keeps kind of staring straight out. And then he whips his face to the right, looking at me. Okay. So they parked the limousine, they come in, I served him, he had his Diet Coke, and lamb chops, pork chops, and then later we found out what he was doing in the neighborhood. He first was at a high school in Naperville, talking with political science people that are interested in that. And then he went to Aurora for a presentation for a big lecture. And all the while he had not yet eaten, so he was really what we call hangry. And if Senator Sanders is hangry, be careful with him. But it all went okay, and he had his food. But still, I thought it was really ironic. I thought he should be in a working class restaurant, strategizing with working class people about the revolution, and not coming into a 1%. All right, thank you for drawing out that story.
Now, Govert, are you really seriously expecting us to believe that you didn't hand him a 32-pager?
I wanted to talk with him about monetary reform, but he was.
angry.
To finish the story with a little sour note, once he was sitting and I tried to apologize again, he waved me away. He was very rude. That was the sour part. If he had not done so, I would have talked about monetary reform.
Actually, somebody else did bring up monetary reform to Senator Sanders when he came through Chicago before he ran, the year before he ran. And Stephen and I, and you were there, weren't you, Govert?
Yeah, you keep thinking it, but I don't know.
No,
I was
okay.
there. Was it Evanston?
Yeah, Evanston, in the pub in Evanston. And Joe, were you there with that?
No.
No? There were a few of us. Bob Petit was there, I think, and it was right after the conference, I think. And so this pub was just jammed. He gives a presentation, pretty much a liberal democratic presentation of what he stands for. And somebody asked a question. We're maybe from here to Govert from him sitting. And while I just kind of squeezed my way right up there, and I got up next to the little podium they had for him. And he didn't want to look at me. Now, I was going out with Stephen Zarlinga. So I had a jacket and tie on, but I had my like Go to Hell hat or whatever it is now with Wall Street and all these other buttons and stuff on it. And I was right next to him. And he's right there and he doesn't want to look at me, you know. And finally, he took my question after the first one, because I was right next to him, you know, my hand like that. And I basically just asked him if he would support Dennis Kucinich's NEED Act, because that would give them the funding for his agenda. And I rattled off quickly what the three major reforms that are necessary, which were included in it. And his answer was that he got the writer on the bill or whatever it was for the Federal Reserve to be audited. Remember when they put it through the Dodd-Frank, I believe? Yeah, they got the limited audit of the Federal Reserve, and that was his answer, which didn't answer my question at all. So I was still standing there. And so anyway, they start to leave after the whole thing is over. And he's walking out, I'm over here, he's walking out and he's just like this to me, you know, the cold shoulder. So anyway, if you would be Bernie walking like that, I snuck up behind him and put my arm around him. And I said, Bernie, we really need you to support this. You know, this is what's gonna give you what you need. And he says, there's hundreds of issues. And then he was gone. So anyway, and Stephen had talked to Bernie once, or maybe more than once, to trying to get in somewhere and couldn't make a dent. Not you, Stephen, but Stephen's early good.